Hello. All right. Hey everyone. Thanks for joining me today. Okay, everything's out of tune here. It's been a very busy morning for me, so I'm not exactly at concert pitch. If you want to get your oud in tune, this is the note that you can use, the G here. Let me know where you're from, how long you've been playing the oud. Say hello in the chat. Love to hear from you. Carol, thank you for joining, and thanks so much for that kind compliment on my new release. I really appreciate it. I didn't actually know that the song was available. I never get the email about when it's released on any of the platforms. Today we're all gonna do some easy oud songs. We're gonna learn a new one today, and we're gonna talk a little bit about my oud lessons. Now is a good time to ask any questions you might have about the oud, playing the oud, learning the oud. I'm here to answer any of your questions. I'm just getting over a cold, so I may be coughing a little bit, so I apologize for that. Okay. All right. Hello from Kurdistan. All right, nice. Good to see you here. All right. Very good. Okay. All right. Okay, I see that there's some other viewers, but no one has commented exactly how long you've been playing the oud for. It's good for me to know how long you've been playing the oud. That way I can kind of keep that in mind as I'm giving this lesson. Hey Saeed, nice to see you here. All right, Atta, nice, great, 6 months, very good. You're very welcome for the notation. I'm glad you got that. All right, Carol, thank you. Yes, I know some of you very well and others not so well, so it's always good to know all that. Okay, so today I wanted to talk about playing some simple songs on oud. Simple songs on the oud are really important to learn because they usually keep the essence of the makam very clear, and they're very accessible and usually very catchy. Other songs that when they're very long and they can be very tedious to learn, and it's often easy to get lost in learning a song. So easy oud songs are great for people who have been learning for about 1 to 2 years. Even people who have been learning longer. It's great to have these great little pieces that you can use in your jam sessions or use them in your arrangements, whatever. It's great. It's great to learn a new easy oud song. All right, Martin, good to see you here. Learning only by ear, that's fine. You can learn this easy oud song by ear as well. I will also have the notation in front of you. I wasn't able to post the notation anywhere, but I do want to give this notation to you. So if you do want the notation for this song that I've transcribed, please email me at support@OudforGuitarists.com. Just send me an email saying you want the notation for the song that you did in the YouTube video today, and I'll happily email that to you. Yeah, so that's great. All right, new here, great, great. Jay, thanks for joining. Mike, all right, great, thank you for joining. All right, awesome. Okay, so first, a few things to keep in mind when we're playing here. I just want to run over some basics. So when you're playing the oud, make sure that you're holding the risha or the mezrab correctly. The way that we generally hold the mezrab or risha, this thumb needs to be nice and curved, nice and sloped. This way you can give it the right support. The index finger comes below it, and you can see that we use the tip of our finger, not the knuckle of our finger. We use the tip of our finger. This way, when all the fingers curl around here, that way you see this finger is sticking out a little bit. That way you can play with the thumb and the index finger, and you can loosen, you can tighten, you can be more accurate. When you're more advanced, this is going to come in handy, this ability to play with the thumb and the index finger. You can shorten the amount of the mezrab that's sticking out. You can lengthen the amount that's sticking out. You can adapt more easily to different scenarios that you might need. The tip extends out underneath the pinky finger. Alternatively, some players like to play like this. This is fine too. This gives a bit more sharp attack, and I find that it lets me do a little bit different things. It's hard to explain the feeling I get when I switch between these two positions. I usually, sometimes, if I'm playing Persian music, for example, which I learned music from Hossein Behriznia. He was my oud teacher. And he held the mezrab like this. And so I also learned the first way that I learned was this way. Later on, I switched to this because I liked the sound a bit better. But sometimes these days, even when I play Persian music, I feel the need to play like this. And I feel like it just helps somehow. It helps the ability to play certain rhythmical passages a little bit with a bit more control rather than this way. However, for most of the time, I do play like this. This is my default. Now, look at the right hand, the way that it hits the strings. There's a wind up, and you let go. Got no focus on there. Alright. Sorry if that's super loud. And your arm comes back around here. The neck, the left hand comes to the neck as though you're shaking somebody's hand, and there's a little gap between the thumb, back of the thumb here, and the neck. And we want to avoid at all costs, for any of you guitarists out there who have played guitar, you want to avoid this. We do not play like this. There's no huge gap between the thumb and the index finger below the neck. We don't do that. We play more like a violin. There's always contact between the neck and the index finger, the base of the index finger here, or the palm. The palm, though, most of the palm is always open like this. And the fingers come to the strings. The wrist is always going to be fairly straight. And as we go down the neck, we're always making contact until we get up here. Then we can't make any contact with the fingerboard because there is none, and so it changes when we get there. But for the most part, as you go down the neck, there's got to be contact being made, and so you have to adjust where the base of the neck sits along the hand in order to reach the notes correctly. You're going to be reaching more as you go to the bass strings. You're going to be coming back a bit more, rotating backwards a bit more to reach the higher strings here. Okay. So I want to show you this song in first position. Let's go over the notes that we're going to use. We're going to use, it's in makam nahuand. And nahuand is like a C minor scale, if you're into Western music. Now, our C note, our starting point is here with the third finger. 3 finger spaces on the A string, the A, La, the La string. So Do, and then we have open third string, Re or D. Then we have E flat with the first finger or Mi bemol. Then we have the third finger here, F, Fa. Same place as where Do and C is along the fingerboard, just on a different string. Then we have our open G or Sol. Then we have A flat with the first finger or La bemol. And then we have Si bemol or B flat with the third finger. And then C. And for the most part, this song stays in this zone, so we don't have to go much higher than this. So here we go. Here's the scale. Let's do a couple warm-ups. We're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4. Do one note per beat. So like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go backwards. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now below the C, we have B natural. Nahuand uses B natural when melodies move toward the home bass, the tonic, or in this case, C. When melodies revolve around G, sometimes B flat is used. And so we have this B natural as well on the higher octave. When we move towards C, that's usually the case. However, it's not, set in stone. These are 2 notes that we have in nahuand, which we use. And we use them in different scenarios. So, for example, if I play a taksim and I play some melodies and come back down to C, I'm going to use the B natural to finish on C. If my melodies move around the G note, the 5th, I might be using the B flat more. And this is just a factor of makam nahuand. So this song is called, you can call it nahuand ilahi. Ilahi is a group of Turkish Sufi songs or religious hymns, and they're gorgeous, beautiful melodies. They can often be heard in Sufi circles, in the sama, or perhaps during their whirling dervish kind of performances or ceremonies. And they're very simple, and they're perfect for common people who want to sing religious music. And they're gorgeous. They're also very catchy, and they also are perfect for learning makam music because they are so precise and so simple in showing the proper melodic development or seyir or of each makam. They're gorgeous. They're beautiful. Let me play this one for you. And I will get to any questions. I'm just going to do my stuff here first. Let's see, gotta zoom this out a little bit. Bear with me. It's a bit small. That's the gist of it there. If this is not showing properly, let me adjust this for you. Okay, now you should be able to see the oud and the notes. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2. Just repeats like this. The main theme, you could think of the main theme as the last line. All right, it's beautiful. It's gorgeous. I'll show you where you can listen to a real performance of this, a real recording with a large ensemble, and it's just fantastic. So I hope you'll enjoy that. I'll show that to you later. Yeah. So before I go on, this month, I wanted to let you know about my oud lessons. I have oud lessons happening, some different oud lesson packages that I offer people who are interested in trying things out. I give oud lessons on Zoom, and I'm based in Japan, so our time zone, usually most of my students are in the United States. The lessons are in the evening in the United States time zones. Sometimes I do have some time for students who are based in Europe. That would be morning time. The lessons would be in morning time in Europe. And I offer some packages for people who are just starting out. If you're just brand new to the oud, you're trying it out, I have a package of 4 lessons for $160. 1 lesson per week works out to $40 a lesson. And you go from knowing nothing about the oud, not knowing any of the notes, to being able to play a very simple song at the end of the 4 weeks. And if you wish to continue, of course, you can continue learning with me, studying with me. And I can also do some packages of 4 lessons for someone who wants to learn oud techniques and go deeper into learning some exercises, advancing their skills. For somebody who's an intermediate player, or if you have a particular song that you really want to learn, that maybe you have the notes for it or something like that, and you really want to get good at this song or figure out this song, how to play this song, then we can talk about that and set up a kind of a little program for 4 weeks, what we're going to cover and how we're going to go about helping you learn this song and master that, whatever song you want to learn how to play. Might be able to do that. Depends on the type of song and what the genre is, of course, and if I know the song, if I need time to learn the song myself, all these kind of things considered. But I do have that kind of package option, and so if you're interested in this kind of thing, you can always contact me. My email is in the chat there. 1 second here, just put it there. and then we're going to learn this song. Okay, we're going to go through it note by note. So please email me if you're interested about that. I also give one-off lessons in case there's something you specifically want to tackle or some burning questions you have about learning the oud. I also give one-off lessons that you can just come up and ask me anything or learn anything particular about the oud, and I can give you links to that as well. Yeah, I'll put the link in there. Let's see here. And then we're going to learn this piece. So here's my link to my oud lessons. You can learn a little bit more there. Take a look. That's where you can actually book the lesson too. Okay. All right, here we go. Let's learn this piece. Show you the technique that we use. This is very important stuff and very crucial. We use this kind of technique all the time, and you can use it as well. I just gotta adjust this screen so we're looking at the same thing. Okay, let's focus on this line right here. Right? Okay. So we have 2 eighth notes. 1 and 2. So we do downstrokes on the eighth notes and the quarter notes. So down, down, down. So we have do, do, sol, or C, C, G. The next measure we have fa or F, and we have 16th notes. So we have to play these 16th notes with down, up. Down, up pattern is important. So we have down, down, up, down. Let's hear those again. So the melody, you can see, is focusing on that sol, on G. That's important for nahuand at the beginning. The nahuand, the way that the makam works is that the melody starts around G and works its way back down to C. And this is shown perfectly in this melody. Beautiful. So the third measure and fourth measure, we have 1 and 2 and. So F, A flat, G, F. That's fa, la, sol, fa. And then E, mi, we have to hold for, what is this? Half and the 16th measure of time. So we have 1 E and a 2. 1 E and a 2. Now this 16th note I usually play with an upstroke. Down, up, down. Okay, let's go through this measure 3 and 4. Repeat. Let's do the whole line. I'll give you a count of 2 for nothing, and then we start. All right, we get ready. 1 and 2 and go. Very nice. Okay. Now let's go to the next line. Okay, we have sol and then do, or G and then C. So it's just very simple. 1 and 2. Now here we have B, A, G, G, F, E, or C, La, Sol, Sol, Fa, Mi. And the stroke pattern for this, usually I just play down for the 16th notes. I play down, up, down, up. So we have down, down, up, down, up, down. Down, down, up, down, up, down. So let's hear those 2 measures again. If we do it slower, let's do it a bit slower. 1 and 2 and sol, do, si, la, sol, sol, fa, mi. melody continues, we have 1 and 2 and a 1 E and a 2. We have D, E, F, E, D, D, C, C, B, C. And watch that B natural there, important. Okay? Re, mi, fa, mi, re, do, do, si, do. And these two lines repeat. Okay? Let's hear them again. All right, that's very small there. Okay, that's okay. Let's go. 1 and 2 and. So I do all the 16th notes, all of them. I do them with down-up patterns. That's the easiest way to not worry so much about it right now. There are other stroke patterns, but and you can play this whole song if you really need to. Just learn the song with all downstrokes, because it's you can play it very slow when you're learning it, and that's fine. And then later you can put the stroke patterns in there. Let's go. I'll talk about some of the rules for what strokes we do in a minute. Oh, actually, now is a good time to do it. Okay, let's just do it now. So generally, there's an old school method and a new school method. The old school method was that every time you cross a string, going down or up, going to the low string or the high string, whenever you would cross the strings, you would use a downstroke. So let's say you're playing the scale, nahuand scale. You'd always cross the strings, C to D, you'd play down, down. And then when the notes are on the same string, like D, E, F, or Re, Mi, Fa, you can do down, up, down. And then that would mean that after F we have G, so we're changing the string, so we put down. F, G is down. F and G are both down. So it would be down, down, up, down, down, and so forth and so on. That was the old school method, which I also learned that method at first. So whenever you're crossing the strings, you'd always use a downstroke. So whenever you're coming down, and let's say you're going, be down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down. This is one method. The more modern method is to just do everything down, up, down, up, down, up. And this is very useful because you don't have to think about the pattern, and it also helps you play patterns, advanced things very easily and with a lot more speed. However, it's a different right-hand angle. You have to be we're almost like weaving in and out of these strings. The angle of your mezrab going away from the soundboard so that you can come up on an opposite string. So there's a very beginner, I show this to all my beginner students. There's an exercise in order to develop this. You put your pinky on the soundboard like this, and you stroke the C string down and the G string up. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. And what this does is it develops some focused muscles in the hand that allow you to weave in and out of the strings. So another way of thinking about it, then the next the next part of the exercise is take the pinky away and then do the exercise. And you'll be able to eventually get your speed up and be able to do that very quickly. Then it makes it very easy to do these kind of passages, and you don't have to think about the stroke pattern so much. Another thing to consider when we are choosing strokes that we use, which is always the exception. There's these two methods, but also we consider where the beat is. We always want to, in most cases, 95% of the time, we want to do a downstroke on the beat. So beat 1, we want to do a downstroke. Beat 2, we want to do a downstroke. On the offbeat, you know, in between the main beats, we want to do upstrokes. So that's why, for example, this phrase here, down, down, up, down. This is beat 2. This is beat 1. This is beat 2. We want to look at it in an even way. And so that we end up doing a downstroke on the beats. And so if we do it down, down, up, down, then we do accomplish that. Another thing to consider is that usually at the end of a phrase, a melodic phrase, you want to end with a downstroke because you want to end strong. So these are some of the things we consider, and this is how it makes it very easy to, if you remember these rules, it makes it very easy to learn pieces. Excuse me. All right, let's do the last line. It's very easy to do. Very similar to what we did before. Again, C, C, G, C, G, G, Do, Do, Sol, Do, Sol, Sol. Right? And then we have Mi, Re, Mi, Fa, Mi, Re, Re, Do, Do, Si, Do. Or E, D, E, F, E, D, D, C, C, B, C. All right? So we're doing, for the last two measures, we're doing down, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. When we do that, because all of these are even numbers of strokes, we end up with downstroke on beat 1 here, downstroke on beat 2, downstroke on beat 1 here, and downstroke on beat 2. So it works out very nicely. For other rhythms, which are odd-numbered rhythms, there are different patterns, and sometimes we do end up having 2 downstrokes in a row in order to repeat the cycle. That's a note for some of you who have already played those kind of odd-numbered pieces. But anyway, this is the piece. Let's do the whole thing. I'm gonna try to show all the notation here. Let's see if I can manage and get the oud inside there. Thanks for bearing with me. No, that's not gonna work. Okay, zoom out a little bit. Should have made these the staff lines a little bit closer together. Oh well, if you want the notation, I will send it to you. Let's see here. There we go. Okay, almost there, guys. Thanks for patience. Okay, we got it. Okay, let's do it from the top. Here we go. Give one measure for nothing and try to come in as best you can. 1 and 2 and go. on, let's do it at a faster pace just so you can hear how it sounds. Hope you enjoyed that. All right, now is question time. If you have any questions you want to ask, I'm happy to answer. All right. Turkish tuning, I mean, we're going to be playing it in the... we're going to be playing the Arabic tuning, so I don't know if it would work. It wouldn't work for this. Let's see, yeah, no, it wouldn't work, at least. However, the recording that I'll share with you is in Turkish tuning. No, it is in Turkish tuning, but it's a bit funny. Anyway, no, you wouldn't be able to use Turkish tuning for this. Let's see here. Possible to pull the strings for the do system on the oud that is made for the fa system. Okay, Emily, I'm not sure what you mean by it is possible. Yeah, I mean, you can use for ouds with the fa tuning. Yeah, you can play this song. It's no problem. You just have one extra string. I have one low extra bass string, so everything in the middle is all the same. Yeah, most of the core technique on the oud is all do, sol, re, la, fa. That's basically what you would have to do. You'd have to compensate to make sure that you're looking at the right notes, hearing the right notes. Yeah. Where can you find Arabic pieces online? There's a website called Arabic Sheet Music. You can start there. That's a good question. There's a lot of places where you can find it, but it's taken me years to compile the notes that I have, so I don't remember off the top of my head where I got everything. But Arabic sheet music, I think you can try. You can try that. Please talk about the upcoming bonuses to the Easy Oud songs. Good question. I'm still wrapping that together. I'll probably might be adding some new songs to it, or I might throw in a webinar. Yeah, we'll see what I end up doing with that. But I have to look at my notes. But it might be either a webinar where you learn another song, another Easy Oud song, and the notation is provided. Or I will be doing some pre-recorded videos with some Easy Oud songs attached. Thanks for asking. That's a very good question. Let's see. Do you know what the Hijazi Banjaka? Not sure what you're referring to. It sounds like you're referring to Panjga or the Makam Banjaka. But Hijazi, are you talking about Hijaz Banjaka? Anyway, not sure what you're referring to there. How or where can I learn music theory? Are you talking about Western music theory, or are you talking about Arabic music theory? Let me know. Hi Tim. For high positions, the notes sound a little muffled. I find that if I let my left hand rotate to the right, so that the fingernail could stop the strings, the sound becomes clear. Yeah, I mean, muffled. That's part of the. That's part of the sound of the oud. depends, really. Depends on how you're doing it. I don't use my fingernails myself. But around here, yes, the strings do sound more muffled. So I tend to try to play as much down here as I can, so that get a nice robust sound, and go up here on the high string when I need to. Another thing that you'll need to do is you'll need to really kick the crap out of the strings when you play up high. A lot of people don't do that enough. You really have to dig in to get the sound up. You really have to dig in. Don't be afraid to really give it when you're doing the high strings. If you listen to players like Simon Shaheen, that's what he's doing. He's really digging into the strings to get the right sound out, using a nice hard risha. You don't need to use a hard risha, but you really do got to give it with that wrist action, and that getting that beefy sound out of it. It depends on the oud you're playing, but also with the right hand you can get the right sound out of it. Yeah, the fingernail, I don't use that technique because I find that it's just kind of might slow you down. I don't know. I've never used it, never needed to use the fingernail. I know that that's a technique that sarod players, the Indian sarod, they use they actually put some material on their fingernails to make it more strong, because they use a metal fingerboard and metal strings, and that really gets muffled with your pads of your fingers. So they do use something like that, and they do more play with their nails. But oud players, I don't think really anyone does that too much. Good question. Lax, what's the difference between both Western and Arabic music theory? I'm playing oud, so I guess Arabic music theory. Okay, so there is a bit of a difference. In Arabic music, there's no harmony. There's no harmonic theory, so to speak, and we don't use chords, and it's all melodic. And so the way that the makams have been conceptualized, there's a little bit of theory in breaking those makams down. You can call them scales if you want, or modes. Breaking them down into their little pieces, their building blocks, is pretty much the Middle Eastern music theory. Whether you're talking about Arabic music, Turkish music, or Persian music, they may have different terms for these same things, but they're ultimately the same. There's little you can learn some of that stuff on my website. Let me give you a link here to look at. I also teach all of this stuff in my private lessons. I also have the makam mastery program, which does go into some theory. Let's see here. I'll bring this up for you and share it in the chat. Learn makamat. Okay, this page on my website should give you a nice little place to start learning the Arabic music theory. Right. The oud that I have is missing 2 rosettes. Would you know a good place where I could buy replacement rosettes? I don't know, unfortunately. Yeah. You could contact, if you're in the States, you could contact a luthier by the name of John Vergara. He may have rosettes that he could sell you. I don't know. John Vergara. Look him up. Just search John Vergara oud. You'll find him. Hatta asks, do you have any suggested exercises on making the fourth finger stronger? For sure. So that's a really important thing to work on. There's a very easy exercise you can do. Okay, so what you want to first do is go to any string. Let's start with the Do string or C string. And put your finger on Re or D, and then reach your finger for the to Fa or F. Should sound like this. And then this way, play down on Do, up on Re, down on Fa, up on Re. Work on this motion, and when you do play, make sure that your pinky is not going back here. Look how far my fourth finger lifts off the string. Not very far. And it's very extended. It's round. The knuckles are all round. And so try that on the other strings too. And as you go down to the bass strings, it'll get harder. And your pinky will get stronger. So that will make your pinky strong. Another exercise is similar to this, and all you're doing is starting on Re, Mi bemol, Fa, and so you're practicing getting that pinky down. Go to the next string after you get better at doing that. When you get down here, you may need to kind of rock your hand. That really works out the pinky. I feel it. And take breaks. If you feel that the pinky is getting stressed out, you just take a break, relax, stretch a bit, let your hand go, and don't do it for too long. Another pinky exercise would be just moving from the second finger to the pinky, to the fourth finger. People don't do this enough when they practice. These are excellent exercises. I highly recommend you use them. Okay. No, Western music doesn't use. So there's a question here about. Would that mean that Western music theory involves both the things in Middle Eastern and in Western music, since it involves chords? No. So there's more to melody. So in Middle Eastern music theory. In Middle Eastern music theory, there's two elements which doesn't really get talked about in Western music theory, which is melody and phraseology, and how those interact, and these are of course things that you can't really talk about in theory, but you can see their relationships, and there's more to the makam system and how the makams are constructed that have elements that Western music doesn't have. Let me give you an example. So, for example, in Western music you have the C major scale. Okay? And this is a scale. The notes are the notes. There's nothing more to it than that. In that we know the intervals between them, know the typical chord progressions, you learn that stuff and all that. But on the Middle Eastern side of things, let's call this a makam now. We have a makam that starts, the melody starts at the low end. And so a makam can be an ascending makam. It develops from the low end, develops up to the higher end, and then comes back down. But something that Western music doesn't have is another aspect of what a scale or a makam can be, is that a makam can have another aspect where it's a descending makam. So we have let's say we have a makam that we are going to call something. This actually exists in Turkish music. This is called makam mahur. Makam mahur always starts at the high octave. And then finalizes on the low C. So this is a different makam than this one. Because it starts at a different place. Makam literally means a location or a place that you are. And so makam has a direct link to where you're playing on the fingerboard. And so when you start to understand what this means and how it relates to all the other makam, all the other locations on the fingerboard, then it goes into a completely different realm of way of thinking about music, melody, and all these different things. So there are different Western music. If you want to learn about Middle Eastern music, you're not going to find the answers in Western music theory, and vice versa. You're not going to find anything about harmony in learning when you learn Middle Eastern music theory. So you have to learn both separately because they approach things very differently with different mindsets and different approaches. One, the Middle Eastern, is based on the melody and how melody develops, and Western music theory uses melody too, and of course develops melody in a certain particular way, but with a harmonic and with that harmony in mind at the back of bone of things. So it's a bit different. This is a big discussion, but very good question. Okay, Forboy, is improvisation common when playing Arabic pieces to give it a kind of accent? It seems you can make a basic piece sound a lot more advanced. Yes, absolutely. This is the magic of Middle Eastern music, and this is in personal interpretation or adding your own ornamentations and knowing how to interpret a piece of music is part of the like professionalism and advanced level of Middle Eastern music. So very good point. I do have a course called the Masterclass, which helps you take pieces and learn ornaments and how to ornament and arrange them for playing them with ornaments on the oud. So yeah, yes, I do, Lax, I do give private lessons. My link to my private lessons is right here. You can learn a little bit more about that. One sec. I lost that here. This is taxing my computer's resources. One second here. Let me send you guys some useful links that might help you, at least from what I offer on my end. So here's the link to learn more about my oud lessons. You can also read about my approach here. I'll put that in. Lots of links here. Let's see if this link works. Okay, that works. Okay. I should really keep like a list of all the links I ever have about all these things. I don't prepare enough for these YouTube lives. Okay, I'll get this for you, this link here. Here it is. Okay, this is, you can learn more about my oud lessons here. Read about, you know, how I am. If you're interested in knowing how an oud lesson goes with me, it's kind of like this. We learn things back and forth. I do YouTube live streams about at least once a month. This month I will have another one in a couple weeks, so stay tuned for that. If you're on the newsletter, you'll hear about it. Okay, I'm gonna just put this link down here if you're interested in my other courses. You can check out all the courses, my online courses that I offer, all there. My makam mastery program is linked there, where you can learn all about a lot of makams, not all the makams, but a lot of them. And then you can learn about my masterclass course. My class course is all about ornamentation and taking oud ornamentations more for intermediate oud players. You at least need to be playing for two years or so. And you learn ornaments and you learn how to arrange them on classical pieces. Hi Kevin, do you know any saws, teachers, or resources? I don't, unfortunately. That's another whole big world on its own. But I'm sure you can find a lot online. It's not my area of expertise. Carol, thank you for sharing this sweet Sufi piece with embellishments. Your great videos always recharge. Thanks so much, Carol. It's always a pleasure to have you. Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you so much. That's it for me today. I hope you enjoyed. I'm going to have another YouTube live in a couple weeks, probably around the same time, in 2 weeks. And if you're on my newsletter, you'll hear about all this stuff that's happening this month. Thank you, Saeed. Good to see you again. Thanks for always joining these YouTube sessions. And yeah, so that's about it. Thank you so much. Really appreciate having you guys here. I hope you enjoyed the piece. If you want the piece, if you want the notation, just send me an email, okay? support@OudforGuitarists.com. Send me an email. I'll be happy to send you the sheet music for this piece. Oh yeah, I want to also share with you where you can actually listen to this piece. Okay, hang on with the last thing. Because this particular place that I've heard this song and where I learned it, there's no lyrics or anything like that. There are lyrics to the song, and this is I'm sure it has a known composer, but I don't know who it is, because they don't put that in the playlist. Let me share the song link. Okay, here it is. It's a very long track, and the album, I highly recommend listening to this album. I'm giving you the Spotify link for it, because that's the easiest place I can find it right now. Fantastic piece. The song starts at the middle end of the half of this track. So I hope you enjoy. Have a listen to it, and have a great rest of your weekend. And I hope I see you again at one of these YouTube live sessions. I'm gonna put the link also in the description so it doesn't go away. There you go. Okay. All right. Thanks so much. If you have any other questions, I'm always available by email. I don't always get to my emails, right away, but I will email with you at least in a few days or so. All right. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.